Okay, new section. Resumes are ridiculous. You all know resumes are a joke. They are there are there are exa- there are exa- there are exaggerations. They are filled with action verbs that don't mean anything. They list job titles and responsibilities that are vaguely accurate at best, and there's no way to verify most of what's on there. The whole thing is the whole thing was a farce. Worst of all, they are too easy. Anyone can create a decent enough resume. That's why half as applicants love them so much. They can shortcut out hundreds at a time to potential employees. It's another form of spam. They don't create about landing your jobs. They create core about landing any job. If someone sends out a resume to 300 companies, that's a huge red flag right there. There's no way that applicant has researched you. There's no way he knows what's different about your company. If you hire based on this garbage, you are missing the point of what hiring is about. You want a specific candidate who cares who cares specifically about your company, your products, your customers, and your job. So how do you find these candidates? First step, check the cover letter. In a cover letter, you get actually communication instead of a list of skills, verbs, and years of experience or irrelevance. So there's no way an applicant can 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 churn out hundreds of personalized letters. That's why the cover letter is a much better test than a resume. You hear someone's actual voice and are able to recognize if it's in time with you and your company. Trust trust your trust your gut trust your gut reaction. If the first paragraph sucks, the second has to work that much harder. If if there if there's if there's no hook in the first three, it's unlikely there's a match there. On the other hand, if your gut is telling you there's a chance at a real match, then move on to the interview stage. The what does 5 years experience mean anyway? Okay. New section, years of irrelevance. We have all seen job ads that say 5 years of experience required. That may give you a number, but it tells you nothing. Of course, requiring some baseline level of experience can be a good idea of hiring. If sorry, it makes sense to go after candidates with 6 months to a year of experience. It takes that long to internalize the idioms, learn how things work, understand the relevant tools, etc. But after that, the curve flattens out. There's surprisingly little difference between a candidate with 6 months of experience and one with 6 year experience. The real difference comes from the individual's dedication, personality, and intelligence. How do you really measure this stuff anyway? what what does 5 years of experience mean? If you spend a couple of weekends experimenting with something a few years back, can you count that as a year of experience? How is company supposed to verify these claims? These are murky waters. How long someone's been doing it is overrated. What matters is how well they have been doing it. CGPAs don't matter. Okay. New section. Forget about formal education. Now I quoted. I have never let my schooling interfere with my education. Said by Mark Twain. There are plenty of companies out there. There are plenty of companies out there who have educational requirements. They will they will only hire people with a college degree, sometimes in a specific field, or an advanced degree, or a certain CGPA, or certification of some sort of some other requirement. Come on, there are plenty of intelligent people who don't excel in the classroom. Don't fall into the trap of thinking you need someone from one of the best schools in order to get results. 90% of CEOs currently heading the top 500 American companies did not receive undergraduate degrees from Ivy League college from Ivy League colleges. In fact, more received their undergraduate degrees from the University of Wisconsin than from Harvard, the most heavily represented Ivy school with 9 CEOs. Too much time in academy too much time in academia can actually do you harm. Take writing for example. When you get out of school, you have to unlearn so much of the way they teach you to write there. Some of the misguided lessons you learn in academia. The longer a document is, the first the first lesson is misguided. That is, the longer a document is, the more it matters. Second is stiff 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 formal tone is better than being conversational. Third, using big words is impressive. Fourth, you need to write a certain number of words or page to make a point. Fifth and final, the format matters as much or more than the content of what you write. It's no it's no wonder so much business writing winds up dry, wordy, and dripping with nonsense. People are just continuing the bad habits they picked up in school. It's it's not just academic writing either. There are a lot of skills that are useful in academia that aren't worth much outside of it. Bottom line is, the pool of great candidates is far bigger than just people who completed college with a stellar CGPA. Consider dropouts. Consider dropouts, people who had low CGPAs, community college students, and even those who just went to high school. Delegators are dead weight. New section. Everybody works. With a small team, you need people who are going to do work, not delegate work. Everyone's got everyone's got to be producing. No one can be above the work. That means you need to avoid hiring delegators. Those people who love telling others what to do. Delegators are dead weight for a small team. They clog the they clog they clog the they clog the pipes for others by coming up with busy work. And when they run out of and and when they run out of work to assign, they make up more, regardless of whether it needs to be done. Delegators Delegators love to pull people into meetings too. In fact, meetings are a delegate's best friend. That's where he gets to seem important. Meanwhile, everyone else who, who attends is pulled away from getting real work done. Hire managers of one. New section. Hire managers of one. Managers of one are people who come up with their own goals and execute them. They don't need they don't need heavy direction. They don't need daily check-ins. They do what a manager would do: set the tone, assign items, determine what needs to get done, etc. But they do it by themselves and for themselves. Those this people free you from oversight. They set their own direction. When you leave them alone, they surprise you with how much they have gotten done. They don't need a lot of handwriting or supervision. How can you spot those people? Look at the backgrounds. They have set the tone. They have set the tone for how they have worked at their jobs. They have run something on their own or launched some kind of project. You want someone who's capable of building something from scratch and seeing it through. Finding these people find, find, finding these people fears the rest of your team to work more and manage less. Hire the better writer. Hire great writers. New section. Hire great writers. If you are trying to decide among of people to fill a position, hire the best writer. It doesn't matter if that people is a marketer, salesperson, designer, programmer, or whatsoever. Their writing skill will pay off. That's because being a good writer is about more than writing. Clear writing is a sign of clear thinking. Great writers, great writers know how to communicate. They make things easy to understand. They can put themselves in someone else's shoes. They know what to omit, and those are qualities you want in any candidate. Writing is making a comeback all over your society. Look at how much people email and text message now rather than talk on the phone. Look at how much communication happens via instant messaging and blogging. Writing is today's currency for good ideas. The best are everywhere. New section. The best are everywhere. It's crazy. It's crazy not to hire the best people just because they live far away. Especially now that there's so much technology out there, making it easier to bring anyone together online. Our our headquarters our headquarters are in Chicago, but more than half of our team lives elsewhere. We have got people in Spain, Canada, Idaho, Oklahoma, and elsewhere. Had we limited our search only to people in Chicago, we would have missed out of half of the great people we have. To make sure your remote team stays in touch, have at least a few hours a day of real time overlap, or working in time zones where there is no work they leave overlap at all. Though, if if you face that situation, someone might need to shift hours a bit, so they start a little later on earlier in the day, so you have available at the same time. You don't need 8 hour of overlap through. Actually, we have found it preferable to not have complete overlap. You get more alone time that way. 2 to 4 hours of overlap should be plenty. Also also meet in person once in a while. You should see each other at least every few months. We make sure our whole team gets together a few times a year. There's are great times to review progress, discuss what's going right or wrong, plan for the future, and get and get and get and get reacquainted with one another one another on a personal level. Geography just don't matter anymore. Hire the best talent regardless of where it is. Okay. Now, test driver employees. Interviews are only worth so much. Some people sound like pros but don't work like pros. You need to evaluate the work they can do now, not the work they say they did in the past. The best way to do that is actually see them work. Hire them for a mini project. Even if it's for just 20 or 40 hours, you will see how they make decisions. You will see if you get alone. You will see what kind of questions they ask. You will get to judge them by their actions instead of just their words. You can even make up a fake project in a factory in South California. BMW built a stimulated assembly line where job candidates get 90 minutes to perform a variety of work related tasks. Then then Ceci- then Cessna Cessna, the airport manufacturer, has a role-playing exercise for 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 for, prospective for prospective managers that simulates the day of the day of an executive. Candidates work through memos, deal with phony irate customers, and handle other problems. Cessna Cessna has hired more than 100 people using this simulation. The companies have realized that when you get into a real work environment, the truth comes out. It's one thing to at a portfolio, read a resume, or conduct an interview. It's another to actually work with someone. Own your bad news. With that, we finish that chapter and we start a new chapter. That chapter named Damage Control. And the first section is own your bad news. Own your bad news. Own your bad news. Okay. New section. Own your bad news. When something goes wrong, someone is going to tell you the story. You will be better off it is you. Otherwise, you create an opportunity for rumors, hearsay, and false information to spread. When something bad happens, tell your customers, even if you never noticed in the first place. Don't think you can just sweep it under the rug. You can't hide anymore. These days, someone else will call you on it if you don't do it yourself. They will post about it online, and everyone will know. There are no more secrets. People will respect you more if you are open, honest, public, and responsive during a crisis. Don't hide behind spin or try to keep your bad news on the down low. You want your customers to be as informed as possible. Okay. Let's give an Let's give an example. Back in 1989, back in 1989, the Exxon Valdez oil tanker spilled 11 million gallons, 11 million gallons of oil into Alaska Prince William Sound. Exxon made the mistake of waiting a long time before responding to the spill and sending aid to Alaska. Exxon's chairman failed to go there until 2 weeks after the spill. The company held news briefings in Valdez, a remote Alaskan town that was difficult for the press to reach. The result, a PR disaster for Exxon that led the public to believe the company was was either hiding something or didn't really care about what had happened. Contrast that Exxon story to the rapture sorry to the rapture of an Ashland oil storage tank that spilled oil into a river near Petersburg around the same time. Ashland Oil's chairman John Hall want to the sense of the Ashland spill and took charge. He he play, he plunged he pledged to clean everything up. He visited news bureaus to explain what the company would do and answer any questions. Within a day, he had shifted the story from rotten oil company does evil narrative to a good oil company tries to clean up story. Here are here are here are some here are some tip, here are some tips here are some tips on how you can own the story. Number one tip is the message should come from the top. The highest ranking person available should take control in a forceful way. Spread the message far and wide. Use whatever megaphone you have. Don't try to sweep it under the rug. Third, no comment is an option. Is not an option. Sorry. No comment is not an option. It's necessary. Apologize. Fourth, apologize the way a person would and explain what happened in detail. Fifth, honestly be considered about the fate of your customers, then prove it. Speed changes everything. New section. Speed changes everything. Okay. We give a code that your call is very important to us. We appreciate your patience. The average hold time right now is 16 minutes. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. Getting back to people quickly is probably the most important thing you can do when it comes to customer service. It's amazing how much that can diffuse a bad situation and turn into a good one. Have you ever sent an email and it took days or weeks for the company to get back to you? How did it make you feel? These days, that's what people have come to accept. Come to expect. They are used to being put on hold. They are used to platitudes about caring that are not backed up. That's why so many support queries start off with an antagonistic tone. Some people may even make threats or call you names. Don't take it personally. They think that that's the only way to be heard. They are only trying to be squeaky, to be squeaky wheel, in the hope it will get them a little grease. Once you answer quickly, they shift 180 degrees. They light up. They become extra polite. Often they thank you forcefully. Sorry. Especially true if you offer a personal response. Customers are so used to canned answer. You can really differentiate yourself by answering thoughtfully, and showing that you are listening. And and even and even if you don't have a perfect answer, say something. Let me do some research and get that to you. Can work wonders. Okay. I'm sorry. We apologize. Okay. Now we coming up in the chapter, that sorry, the section is how to say you are sorry. There's a there's sorry there's there's never really a great way to say you are sorry, but there are plenty of terrible ways. One of the worst way the one of one of the worst ways is the non-apology apology. While it sounds like an apology, but don't really accept any blame. For example, we are sorry if this upset you, or I am sorry that you don't feel we lived up to your expectations whatsoever. A great apology accepts responsibility. It has no conditional if phrase attached. If shows sorry it shows people that the buck stops with you, and then it proves real details about what happened and what you are doing to prevent it from happening again. And it seeks a way to make things right. To make things right. Here's another bad one. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused. Oh please, let's break down why that's bad. To apologize. Okay, if you spill if you spill coffee on someone while riding subway, would you say I apologize? No, you would say I'm so sorry. Well, if your service is critical to your customers, and an interruption to that service is like spilling hot coffee all over them. So use the appropriate tone and language to how that you understand the severity of what happened. Also, also the people in charge should take personal responsibility. And an I apology is a lot stronger than a we apology. Okay. Any inconvenience. If customers depend on your service and can't get to it, it's not merely an inconvenience. It's a crisis. An inconvenience is a long line at the grocery store. This ain't that. Okay. Now, this may have cost. Okay. The may the may implies there might not be anything wrong at all. That's a classic non-apology move, not apology move. It slides it slides it slides it slides the very real problem or problems that customers are expecting. If this didn't affect them, you don't really need to say anything. If it did affect them, then There's no need for may here. Stop wavering. So what? So what's the? So what's? So what? So now. So now, what's the perfect way to say you are sorry? There's no magic bullet. Any stock answer will sound generic and hollow. You are going to have to take it on a case by case basis. The number the number the number principle to keep in mind when you apologize. How would you feel about the apology if you were on the other end? If someone said those words to you, would you believe them? Keep in mind that you can't apologize your way out of being an ass. Even even the best apology won't rescue you if you haven't earned people's trust. Everything you do before things go wrong matters far more than the actual words you use to apologize. If you have built rapport with customers, they will cut you some slack and trust you when you say you are sorry. Everyone on the front lines, XSS, MKTGP support, HR, etc. Okay, put put everyone on the front lines. New section. In the in the restaurant in the restaurant business in the restaurant businesses in the restaurant business, there's a world of difference between working in the kitchen and dealing with customers. Cooking schools and smart restaurants know it's important for both sides to understand the emphasis with each other. That's why they often have chefs work out front as writers for a stretch. That that that's why the kitchen staff can interact with customers and see what's actually like on the front lines. A lot of a lot of companies have a similar front of house or back of house split. The people who make the perfect work in the kitchen while support handles the customers. Unfortunately, that means the products the that unfortunately that means the products chefs never get to directly hear what customers are saying too bad. Listening to customers in the best way to get in tune with the product's strengths and weaknesses. Okay, let's start again. Think about the children's game telephone. There are 10 kids sitting in a circle. A message starts, and is whispered from one children to another, but by the same time gets all the way around. The message is completely distorted to the point where it's usually hilarious. A sentence that makes sense at first comes out sorry come, sorry comes out the other end as comes out the other end as macaroni catalog knows the future. And the more people you have in the circle, the more distorted the message gets. The same thing is true at your company. The more people you have between your customers, words words and the and the people doing the work, the more likely it is that the message will get lost or distorted along the way. Everyone Everyone on your team should be connected to your customers. Maybe not every day, but at least a few times throughout the year. That's the only way your team is your team is going to feel the hurt your customers are experiencing. It's feeling it's feeling that it's feeling the hurt that really motivates people to fix the problem. And the flip side is true too. The joy of happy customers or ones who have had a problem solved can also be widely motivating. So so don't protect the people doing the work from customers from customer feedback. No one should be shielded from direct criticism. Maybe you think you don't have time to interact with customers. Then make time. Craigslist sorry Craigs Craigslist 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 founder sorry Craigslist Craigslist founder Craig Newmark still answers support emails today, often within minutes. He also deletes he also deletes he al- he also deletes racist comments from the sites discussion board. And 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 and, and Peters and Peters and Peters New York City realtors who post apartments for rent that don't exist. If he can devote this thing of attention to customer service, you can too. Take a take 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 a deep breath. Okay, the last section of the chapter. Take a deep breath. When you rock the boat, there will be waves. Or after you introduce a new feature, change a policy, or remove something, knee-jerk reactions will pour in. Racist sorry racist resist the urge to panic or make rapid changes in response. Passions, passion, passions, passions flare in the beginning. That's normal. But if you ride out that first rocky week, things usually settle down. People are creatures of habit. That's why they react to change in such a negative way. That's there are used to using something in a certain way, and any change upset the natural order of things. So they push back. They complain. They demand that you revert to the way things were. But that doesn't mean you should act. Sometimes you need to go ahead with a decision you believe in, even if it's unpopular at first. People often respond before they give a change of fair chance. Sometimes that initial negative reaction is more of a prime response. That's why you will sometimes hear things like, it's the wrong thing I have ever seen. No, it's not. It's a minor change. Come on. Also, remember the native reactions are almost always louder and more passionate than positive ones. In fact, you may hear only native voices, even when the majority of your customers are happy about the change. Make sure back, don't foolishly backpedal on unnecessary but controversial decision. So when people complain, let things simmer for a while. Let them know you're listening. Show them you're aware of what they are saying. Let them know you understand you understand their discontent, but explain that you're going to let it go for a while and see what happens. You will probably find that people will adjust eventually. They may even wind up liking the change, liking the change more than the old way, once they get once they used to get on. The new chapter is culture. Culture is the byproduct of consistent behavior. You don't create a culture. Instant cultures are artificial creatures. Instant cultures are artificial cultures. There are big bangs made of mission statements, mission statements, declaration, and rules. They're obvious, ugly, and plastic. Artificial culture is paint. Real culture is patina. You don't create a creature. Sorry, you don't create a culture. It happens. This is why new companies don't have a culture. Culture is the byproduct of consistent behavior. If you encourage people to share, then sharing will be built into your culture. If you reward trust, if you reward trust, then trust will be built in. If you treat customers right, then treating customers right become your culture. Culture isn't a force ball table on trust falls. It isn't policy. It isn't the Christmas party on the company panic. Those are objects and events, not culture, and it's a slogan either. Culture is action, not words. No, sorry. So don't worry too much about it. Don't force it. You can't install a culture like a fine scotch. You have got to give it time to develop. Decisions are temporary. Okay. New section is decisions are temporary. But what if? But what happens when? Don't we need to plan for? Don't make up problems you don't have yet. It's not a problem until it's a real problem. Most of the things you worry about never happen anyway. Besides, the, besides the decisions you make today don't need to last forever. It's easy to shoot down good ideas, interesting policies, or worthwhile experiments by assuming that whatever you decide now needs to work for years on end. It's just not so, especially for a small business. In circumstances change, your decisions can change. Decisions are temporary. At this stage it's silly to worry about whether or not your concept will scale from 5 to 5,000 people, or from 100 to 100,000 to 100 million people. Gets a product or service of the ground is hard enough without inventing even more obstacles. Optimize for now and worry about the future later. The ability to change course is one of the big advantages of being small. Compared to large companies, you are way more capable of making quick and sweeping changes. Big companies just can't move the fast. So pay attention to today and worry about later when it gets here. Otherwise, you will waste energy, time, and money fixating on problems that may never materialize. Okay, build a rockstar environment. Skip the rock stars. New section. Skip the rock stars. A lot of a lot of companies post help wanted ads seeking rock stars or ninjas. That's lame. Unless your workplace is filled with with groups and throwing stars. This and throwing stars. These words have nothing to do with your business. Instead of thinking, sorry, instead of thinking about how you can land a room full of rock stars, think about the room instead. Where are capable of bad, average, and great work. The environment has a lot more to do with great work than most people realize. That's not that that's not to say we are all created equal and you will unlock the star power in anyone with a rockstar environment. But there is a ton of untapped potential trap under lame policies, poor decisions, under the lame policies, poor decisions, and stiffing bureaucracies. Cut the crap, and you will find that people are waiting to do great work. They just need to be given the chance. This isn't about casual Fridays or bring your dog to work day. If those are if those are such good things, then why aren't you doing them every day of the week? Rockstar environments develop out of trust, autonomy and responsibility. There are a result of giving people the privacy, workspace, and tools they deserve. Great environments show respect for the people who do the work and how they do it. New section. There are not 13. There are not 13. Remember, there are not 13. New section. There are not 13. When you treat people like children, you get children's work. Simple. Yet that's exactly how a lot of companies and managers treat their companies. Employees need to ask permission before they can do anything. They need to get approval for every tiny expenditure. It's surprising they don't have to get a hall pass to go take a shit. When everything constantly needs approval, you create a culture of no thinkers. You create a boss versus worker relationship that screams, I don't trust you. Okay, what do you gain if you ban employees from, say, visiting a social networking site or watching YouTube while at work? You gain nothing. That's time. That's time doesn't magically convert to work. They will just find some over diversion and look, sorry, and look you are not going to get a full 8 hours a day of people anyway. That's a myth. That's a myth. They might be at the office for 8 hours, but they are not actually working 8 hours. People need diversions. It helps it helps disrupt the monotony of the workday. A little YouTuber a little YouTuber or Facebook sorry a little YouTube or Facebook time never hurt anyone. Then there is all the money and time you spend policing this stuff. How much does it cost to set up surveillance software? How much time to do IT employees waste on monitoring other employees instead of working on a project that's actually valuable? How much time do you waste writing rule books that never get read? Look at the costs. Sorry, look at the costs, and you quickly realize that failing to trust your employees is awful expensive. Awful expensive. Send people home at 5. New section. Send people home at 5. The dream employee for a lot of companies is 20 some is 20 something with as little of life as possible outside of work. Someone who will be fine working 14 hours day and sleeping under his desk. But packing a room full of this burn the midnight oil types midnight types isn't as great as it seems. It lets you the sorry it lets you get away with loosey execution. It it perpetuates sorry it perpetuates it perpetuates myths like this is the only way we can compete against the big guys. You don't need more hours, you need better hours. When people have something to do at home, they get down to business. They get the work done at the office because because they have somewhere else to be. They find ways to be more efficient because they have to. They need to pick up they need to pick up the kids or get the chore or get the core practice. So they use their time wisely. As the saying goes, if you want something done, ask ask the busiest person you know. You want busy people who have a life outside of work, people who care about more than one thing. You shouldn't accept the job to be someone's entire life. At least not if you want to keep them around for a long time. Policy. don't 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 scar on the first cut. Okay, don't scar on the first cut. New section. The second something goes wrong, the natural tendency is to create a policy. Someone wearing shorts, we need a dress code. No, you don't. You just need to tell John not to wear shorts again. Policies are organizers scar tissue. They are quantified. Sorry, they are quantified overreactions to situations that are unlikely to happen again. They are collective punishment for the misdeeds of an individual. This is how bureaucracies are born. No one says out to create a bureaucracy. The sneak up on companies slowly. They are created one policy, one scar at a time. Okay, so don't scar on the first cut. Don't create a policy because one person did something wrong once. Policies are only meant for situations that come up over and over again. New section. Sound like you. Okay, what is the business people trying to sound big? The stiff language, the formal announcements, the artificial friendliness, the like sorry the legalese, etc. You read this stuff and it sounds like a robot wrote it. These companies talk at you, not to you. This mask of professionalism is a joke. We all know this. Yet small companies still try to emulate it. They think sounding big makes them appear bigger and more professional. But it really just makes them sound ridiculous. Plus plus you sacrifice one of a small company's greatest asset, the ability to communicate simply and directly without running every last word through legal and PR department side. There okay. There's nothing wrong with sounding your own size. Being honest about who you are in smart business too. Language is often your first impression. Why start it off with a lie? Don't be afraid to be you. That applies that applies to the language you use everywhere, in email, in packaging, in interviews, in blogging posts, in presentation, etc., etc. Things to sorry Talk to customers the way you would to friends. Explain things as if we're sitting next to them. Avoid jargon or any sort of corporate speak, in any sort of corporate speak. Stay away from buzzwords when normal words will do just fine. Don't talk about monetization or being transparent. Talk about making money and being honest. Don't use 7 words when 4 will do. And also and also don't force your employees to end emails with legalized like, this email message is for the sole use of the intended recipient or recipients, recipient or recipients, and may contain confidential and privileged information. That's like ending all your company emails with a signature that says, we don't trust you. We are ready to prove it in code. Good luck making friends that way. Okay, write to be read. Don't write just to write. Whenever you write something, read it out loud. Does it sound like the way it would if you were actually talking to someone? If not, how can you make it more controversial? Conversational. Sorry. Let's begin again. Who said writing needs to be formal? Who said you have to stripe away your personality when putting words on paper? Forget rules and just communicate. And when you're writing, don't think about all the people who may read your words. Think of one person. Then write for that one person. Writing for a mob, writing for a mob leads to generalize and awkwardness. When you write a specific target, you are lot more likely to hit the mark. Nerd, send easy fast. Need, send easy fast. Need, can't, easy, fast. Okay, 4-letter words. New section, 4-letter words. Okay. There are 4-letter words for you should never use in businesses. There are no fuck or shit. There are need, must, can't, easy, just, only, and fast. These words get in the way healthy communication. They are red flags that introduce animosity, torpedo good decisions, and cause projects to be late. When you use these 4-letter words, you create a black and white situation. But the truth is rarely black and white. So people get upset and problems ensure. Tension and conflict are injected unnecessarily. Here's what's wrong with some of them. The first word is need. Very few things actually need to get done. Instead of saying need, you are better off saying maybe, or What do you think about this? Or how does this sound? Or do you think we could get away with that? Now, now the second the second letter word is can't. When you say can't, you probably can. Sometimes sometimes there are even opposing can'ts. We can't we can't launch it like that because it's not quite right. Versus we can't spend any more time on this because we have to launch. Both of those statements can't be true. Or wait a minute, can they? Okay. The third word is easy. Easy is a word that's used to describe people that describe other people's jobs. That should be easy. That should be easy for you to do, right? Okay. But notice how rarely people describe their own task as easy. For you, it's let me look into it. But for others, get it done. Okay. There's there's four letter words often pop up during debates, and also watch out for their cousins: everyone, no one, always, and never. Once uttered, they make it though to find a solution. They box you into a corner by putting two absolutes by putting two absolutes against each other. That's when that's when headbutting occurs. You squeeze out any middle ground. You squeeze out any middle ground. And these words are especially dangerous when you string them together. We need to add this feature now. We can't launch without this feature. Everyone wants it. It's only one little thing, so it will be easy. You should be able to get it in there fast. Only 36 words, but 100 assumptions. That's a recipe for disaster. Simply recipe of disaster. Okay, the last section, the last section before the last chapter of conclusion. The section is as soon as possible is a poison. Stop saying as soon as possible. We get it. We get it. It's implied. It's implied. Everyone wants things done as soon as they can be done. When you turn into one of these people who adds as soon as possible to the end of every request, you are saying everything is high priority. And when everything is high priority, nothing is. Funny how everything is a top priority until you actually have to prioritize things. As soon as possible is as soon as possible or ASAP or ASAP is inflationary. As soon as possible is inflationary. It devalues any request that doesn't say as soon as possible. Before you know it, the only way to get anything done is by putting the as soon as possible sticker on it. Most things, I repeat, most things just don't just don't warrant that kids of hysteria. If a task doesn't get done this very instant, nobody is going to die. Nobody is going to lose their job. It won't cost the company a ton of money. What it will do is create artificial stress, which leads to burnout and worst. So sorry. So reserve your emergency language for true for true for true for true emergencies. The kind of where there are direct miserable consequences to inaction. For everything else, chill out. The last chapter is conclusion. Okay, inspire and with this section, inspire is perishable. With that, we ended up this book reward. Okay, we all have ideas are immortal. They last forever. What doesn't last forever is inspiration is like fresh fruit or milk. It has a expiration date. If you want to do something, you have got to do it now. You can't put it on a shelf and wait 2 months to get around it. You can't just say you will do it later. You won't be pumped up about it anymore. If you are inspired on a Friday, swear off the weekend and dive into the project. When you are high on inspiration, you can get 2 weeks of work done in 24 hours. Inspiration is a time machine in that way. Inspiration is a magical thing, a productivity multiplier, a motivator. But it won't wait for you. Inspiration is a now thing. If it grabs you, grab it right back and put it to work. With that, we finish the book. We finish the entire book. That is rework. Inshallah, I will sit down, read it again, and get the gist of ideas and apply it in my life. Inshallah. So with that, till then, assalamu alaikum.